This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.
Hello, everybody. This is Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio, and it has been a crazy couple of days. Hope everybody got their votes in. Everybody voted. We'll see how things pan out. Hopefully by now we'll have some sort of answers, but I'm super excited. The voter turnout has been tremendous, and I'm so glad that so many people got out and made sure their voices were heard. And I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on at the polls right now, but something even crazier going on if you pick up a book of this fabulous author, Laura Heffernan, who's here to talk to us today. It's called Pole Dancer, P-O-L-L, not P-O-L-E. And she has written this, and it's super fun, and she's an award-winning, internationally best-selling author of fun, witty romantic comedies and more serious women's fiction. After a few years of practicing law, she realized she much preferred arguing with her characters rather than other people. When not watching total strangers get married, drag race queens, or cooking competitions, Laura enjoys board games, travel, board games, baking, and board games. And she lives in the Northeast with her husband and the world's most active toddler and 2 furry babies. And some of Laura's favorite things include goat cheese, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Battlestar Galactica, the Oxford comma, and ice cream. Not all at the same time and not all together. The best place to find her is on Twitter, where she spends far too much time tweeting about writing, Canadian chocolate, board games, and reality TV. Welcome to the show, Miss Laura Heffernan. How are you today?
Thank you so much. I'm good, Patricia. That was quite the introduction. Thank you.
I try to always kind of like spin it back, to like what's applicable. So with everything going on at the polls this week, and it's perfect because you have your Push and Poll series out, and the latest release is Pole Dancer. So tell us about this book and how you came about creating this series.
So the funny thing is, I actually started the series in 2016 during the election cycle. We were watching a lot of The West Wing, actually, because, well, it was very relaxing to us. So we're watching The West Wing, and I really, really like Rob Lowe in The West Wing. So that kind of got the wheels turning in my mind a lot. And I did a lot of I was doing pole fitness at the time, a lot. I did a couple of exhibitions. We did some shows. They had me filling in for the instructor and when they couldn't show up in class. So I was all about learning to do pole fitness as exercise. And I don't know, I thought it'd be fun to put them together. So
why not? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just the early versions of the book were actually a lot more serious. The main character's husband was the one running for office. It was very different. And it wasn't working. So finally I put it aside to focus on some other stuff. And then when this year's election cycle rolled around, a year and a half ago when it started, I said, maybe it's time to take a look, pull this back out. What's not working? I said, well, it's not fun. It needs to be fun. So give the whole book a makeover and turn it into a romantic comedy. And I gave it a sequel. So that's...
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting because I think a lot of people don't realize the process because some writers are really gifted in the sense that they can sit down and they know what they're going to write and how they're going to write it, and it all comes out decently. Your first draft comes out decently well with some decent structure to it. But a lot of times, some of these stories that we really want to write, we get them out, and then we have to kind of just walk away from them for a while and then come back and figure out how to fix it. What was the time span between you saying, okay, wait, why isn't this working, and then coming back to it and rewriting it?
It was probably well over a year because I got the contract for my Gamer Girls series in the middle of all that. And so I had a good reason, I guess. I put it aside. I wrote those books, and then I came back to it. So probably about 18 months at least. I don't know, I had a baby in there. Things have been kind of a blur.
Right. That does derail things.
This is probably, I mean, this is the longest I've had a book sit, but I am not somebody who can sit down and write a perfect first draft and mail it to their agent and have it sell 3 days later because it's beautiful.
Right.
I have heard,
right.
I see those people on TV. They're not real. So.
No, I don't think they are. I mean, yeah, I think it's interesting. It does take a lot of time and crafting and everything else. So yeah, it's always a very big process. Were you a big reader when you were growing up? Is that how you kind of came about wanting to write a book one day, or did that come later?
Oh, no, I'm a big reader. I taught myself how to read when I was 4 because my sisters didn't want to read to me anymore. They were bored. So, when I was first, second grade, I go to the library after school every day and get a book, and I take it home, and I sit and I'd read till dinner, and then the next day I would return it and get a new one.
Yeah. What were your favorites?
I loved Nancy Drew so much. I was sad because my school library only had like 12 of them. So,
oh
no! Right. There's well over 100. But I love those. I really like the Bobbsey twins, Trixie Belden, and then when I got a little bit older, the Babysitters Club, Sweet Valley High, Sweet Valley Twins.
Right.
All of those. Those just weren't. Whenever those came out, I started reading all those. Oh, there were so many. There was one series
it was really a little bit. It was a little bit weird when I was younger. I was like, oh, Carolyn Keene, she wrote all these books. Wow. And then, you find out as you're older that it's just the pen name of whomever writes Nancy Drew. Because it got to the point where I remember reading about her, and she was like born in, I don't know, 1930 something. And here we are. And I'm thinking, she's like 1,000 years old now, and she's still writing. That's weird.
Well, they had the same group of people writing all of those, and the Bob and the Hardy Boys. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That was quite an awakening when I realized that Carolyn Keene wasn't really like one real person.
Right. Yeah, she's not Beverly Cleary, who was going to write till she's 200 years old. But, yeah. Lady's still writing. She's at 104 now, I think.
Something like that. Good for her.
Prolific.
Let's just hope.
Yeah. So my understanding from you were an attorney for a while. What kind of law did you practice?
I was in a boutique law firm, which really just means small, but I was litigation department. So we did various things, family law, landlord-tenant, basically the other side of the office. They did contracts and business deals and stuff, and then we were there when things went wrong. So
okay. But that wasn't your calling, huh?
No, it wasn't. I mean, sometimes it was good stuff. I like, being able to help people. That's a big thing for me. I always want to help people. But, I didn't love the arguing, really.
Right. Did you help with any mini adoption cases?
No. But, so I went into it originally. I had big dreams, of course, right? I was going to change the world. I wanted to do civil rights law. I wanted to change things. I wanted to bring us forward, all kinds of things. And life doesn't always go that way. So it just didn't. And as I got into what I was doing, it just wasn't for me. Yeah,
I mean it's definitely a difficult line of work. There's different factors to it and a lot of details. So it's a lot of details. So tell me, you've got here, you love board games. So tell me your top 5.
How much time do you have?
We have 35 minutes.
Okay, I could definitely talk about board games for 35 minutes. So right now I'm playing a lot of Among Us, which is actually it's an app game. It's social deduction. and that's fun. I think everybody's playing that. It's on Reddit, but that's not really a board game. So AOC plays that. It's on Reddit. People can find it Among Us. It's fun. My favorite board games, I would say Pandemic, ironically.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of expansions. It's one of those games that never gets old for me, but there are also so many expansions that you can make it new.
Right.
So that's fun. Betrayal at House on the Hill. It's like a horror movie in a board game.
Wow.
Yeah, so I really like that one. And that's another one that it's different every time. So
Sure.
So that's fun. Oh, so this is funny. So I'm sitting in my basement, and I'm sitting right next to my board game shelf, and I'm looking at it. My board game shelf is packed because we were supposed to move 2 weeks ago.
And you've got to get all that packed up. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Legendary would definitely make my top 5. That is a superhero cooperative game. Cards. Forbidden Desert.
Okay.
Oh, and the game I suck at. What is it called? Of course, now I'm drawing a blank. I feel stupid later. Well, let's say Mysterium instead. Mysterium is fun.
Okay.
That's like another haunted type game. But there's a game that I really love that I'm terrible at, and I still enjoy it, and that is huge. Because when you lose every single time and you're still having fun, that's a good game.
That is a good game. It was always we'd always kind of do a Trivial Pursuit, but then we'd play with Monopoly pieces. It was just like you just kind of make up your own thing. And I think those kind of games it's just a lot of fun to play with people you are truly enjoying the time with.
Right.
I feel like it's just time well spent, and it's not just playing the game because it's the time and then the discussion and then the crazy silly stuff that happens and everything that goes with it. So I always think that's a wonderful time well spent. So you have this one series that we were talking about earlier, and then you have a few others. You have a women's fiction, you have Gamer Girl series, you have the Oceanic Dream series, Reality Star series. I mean, you have all these different books, and so what is the catalyst of coming up with these different series? I mean, what was the, did you say I just want to sit down and write something like this, or what was kind of the trigger to get you to do so for these different ones?
A few of the books, it really was just I had an idea for a book, so I wrote it.
Okay.
The Reality Star series was my first series. That was actually sparked when my best friend went on a reality show on ABC called The Glass House. It's actually, thanks to the pandemic, it's available again, even though it aired many years ago. But it's online. So I went through that process with her in the background. I was hand-holding. I was on the phone. I was talking to her when she was applying and making the video and all that stuff, going to the interviews. So I got the little behind-the-scenes stuff, and then after she was eliminated from the show, which is not a spoiler because it's been years, she came home and we were watching it together, and that was just really weird, actually, but cool.
Yeah.
So it kind of just stemmed from that. It got me thinking about, like, what kind of reality show would I like, or what, the way that show worked out didn't quite go the way we had hoped. So how would my show go?
Right.
And that series follows the same person. I had a lot of fun with it. I really love those characters. I would love to get back to that world someday. The game. Do you have any?
Go ahead. Well, no, I'm saying, do you have any characters in that series that your readers have said, hey, what about so-and-so?
I've had a couple of people ask me about the sister, Sarah, and I would like to give Sarah her own book. I actually thought it'd be fun to give one of the villains her own novella with her own reality show, kind of a spin-off.
Okay.
But I have trouble because I write villains. Sometimes it's hard to redeem them. I should make them the star there. That's not a strength I have. I'm working on it. I know Emily Giffen managed it with Something Borrowed and Something Blue.
Okay.
But yeah, that's tough. So the Gamer Girl series follows different couples.
Okay.
And that started, my editor was actually asking me how I met my husband, and I was talking about how we both played board games, and we went to different events where people played games, and we kept running into each other, and we were friendly, and we, and she said, oh, you should write that story. So it's not the story of us, but the backdrop is similar.
Right. And the covers are really cute. Did you design your covers? Oh,
absolutely not. But aren't they fabulous? I can't design my way out of a paper bag, but I love them. I was driving when they sent them to me, and when my phone told me I had an email, I was expecting it. I pulled over. I knew it was coming. And I pulled it up, and I saw, and I was just so happy I started crying. Like, it was beautiful.
Yeah, they really are.
The thing is, they sent me 3 concepts for book 1, and I liked them all so much, they just made those 3 concepts the 3 books. With some changes.
Wow. That's cool. And then you have your Oceanic Dream series, and you have several books in this one. See, I'm getting 7, 8?
There are 8 books, but I only wrote 1. It's a multi-author series.
Okay. Oh, yes, so, I see. You wrote book 2, The Time of My Life.
Yep. Which is it's dirty dancing, but it's a gender flipped dirty dancing. So it's about a pole fitness instructor who falls for a student on a cruise ship. And
was the whole series set on a cruise ship?
It's all set on the same cruise, actually. So if you read carefully, you will see characters from one book pop up in the others, which was a lot of fun.
Right. So did one of your friends approach you and say, we're doing this? So then did you all brainstorm and obviously coordinated, because, you can't be guessing what someone else is doing. But, how long did that whole process take for you guys?
I think we started it about 9 or 10 months before the first book came out. Mm-hmm. It might have actually been longer. But somebody posted in a group I was in, just, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Is there any interest? And a bunch of people responded, way more than 8. So she started a separate group, and we went in there and we started throwing around, like, okay, what kind of heat level do we want? Do you want dual point of view or single point of view? And then as we talked more about that, people were kind of dropping off, and then there were some scheduling issues. So we were down to 3 or 4 people at one point, and then we got back up to 8 just because schedules cleared and it just started working out better.
Okay.
I am not a planner. I thought it was a great experience. And actually, that was the first time I published the book myself. So it was really good for a first time doing indie publishing to have 7 other experienced authors sitting with me saying, here's how we do this. So I'm very lucky that I got the benefit of that experience, because that's worth a lot. You could pay a lot to get that from somebody else.
Oh, sure. You talk about formatting, you talk about, the book cover, you talk about the link, there's just a ton of stuff that just, the book is written, but then there's this whole other, level or checklist of things that you have to make sure the book looks good.
Right. Stuff I never would have thought of.
Right.
Never in a million. So that was good.
That's great. Are you thinking that you would be interested in doing another series like that? If somebody came and said, hey, we're thinking about doing it, would you do it again?
Absolutely. I'm actually doing an anthology that's coming out in July next year.
Okay.
I think the only difference between the series we did in that anthology is it's all released on the same day. And the books are shorter. I think it's more in the 10 to 30,000 word range. But I'm really looking forward to that.
Can you tell us anything about that project?
It's for paranormal cozy mysteries. So I'm working on a new series and a new pen name. The Shady Grove Mysteries, about a girl who discovers that she is psychic, and she is a biology major and not super excited about the idea that psychics are real. She doesn't believe in that. So
Sure.
She's learning to she's learning about her powers, and then her boss gets accused of murder. So she has to figure out fast how to use her powers to figure out what really happened. So it's the first book, and then the one coming out, it's just an extension of that series. So the way things worked out with the calendar, it's actually going to be book 3.5 is the one in the multi-author set.
Oh, nice. That's great. And so you're going to have this series coming out the beginning of next year? So
Yep,
when that one hits, it's the 3.5?
Yep.
Okay. And do you have names for that those books yet?
The first book is going to be called Mystic Pieces.
Okay.
So my favorite thing about Paranormal Cozies is the puns and the titles. So I have Mystic Pieces.
Sure.
I have the Sky's the Limit.
Okay.
Sight Searing. And then the fourth one I think is going to be called Mystic Air. Like Missing Air, but Mystic Air.
Cool. And then what's your pen name?
I have a list of puns. Oh, Ada Bell.
Okay. Ada Bell. A-D-A?
Like Ada Lovelace.
Okay. Cool. Well, I was going to ask you if you had talked about writing paranormal because of the board games you were giving me. And I thought, well, I wonder if you'll ever will. And you are. So that's fun.
It's funny. I don't know that I made that connection, but I was playing a lot of Mysterium when I started writing this book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's kind of fun to do a completely different departure because the Cozy Mysteries will still have that charm of your voice and the fun of it. It's just a little bit of a different take, you know?
Right. And they are a lot of fun, and that's what I read when I'm not reading chick lit. So it's it was a natural step for me. Yes.
Yeah, it is fun. So tell me, who is on your to be read list right now, or to be read pile?
Erin Huss, who writes Paranormal Mysteries, is at the top of the list. I have so many books.
I know.
I just got one too. I'm like, what is it? I'm really excited about it. Kate O'Keefe.
Okay.
Her new series. The first book was Dating Mr. Darcy. That was fabulous. The second one is Marrying Mr. Darcy. So it's I need to read it's by Alison Wynne Scotch. Cleo McDougall, I think.
Okay.
Something like that. It's a political women's fiction. So it came out when I was working on The Accidental Senator, and I was really excited, but at the same time, I didn't want any ideas from that to kind of seep into my subconscious. So I bought it and I've been sitting on it.
Kind of use it as a reward when you're completely finished?
Yeah. I have To Love and to Loathe, which is an advanced copy of a historical rom-com. And the first book in that series, To Have and to Hoax, was absolutely fantastic. I loved everything about it. So I'm extremely excited that they gave me book 2. Yeah, so I read a lot of historical romance when I was younger, and I haven't really seen any historical rom-com. So it was new and hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. So I'm really looking forward to this.
That sounds fabulous. I have written those down, so I'll look forward to looking them up. So you have your paranormal series coming up, and you've just released this. What other projects do you have coming in the next year?
That is a good question. I had some stuff that was scheduled for this year that kind of got pushed back due to COVID stuff.
Sure.
So I want to revisit some of that. I have a chick lit book. I call it the anti-romance. I'm thinking about releasing around Valentine's Day. Because not all love is happily ever after.
Right.
So, but I'm thinking about that. I'd like to write a sequel first. So that's kind of we'll see how that goes. So I have a lot of stuff floating around. I really carefully scheduled all the paranormal romance stuff, and I haven't gotten too much beyond that yet. I do have a really fun Royals rom-com that I'm hoping to get out next year, though.
And is that under, it's not paranormal, but it's just like a regular romantic comedy, correct?
Mm-hmm. Romantic comedy about a girl who marries a prince by mistake.
Okay, very interesting. Okay. So, I mean, you've got a lot of amazing ideas. And do you usually like to have, like, all 3 books or 2 books or however written before you have them out there? Or do you one at a time? I mean, what is your process?
Well, I started in the traditional world where you write a book and then you query the book. And they tell you not to write the sequels because your editor's going to want changes to your first book. Which makes sense when you think about it. But when you shift to indie, then I am my editor. And so it is kind of hard to shift that mindset. I am trying with the paranormals. My goal is to have all 3 written before at least drafted, before I even release the first one. So I have book 1 almost ready, almost completely done. And that's coming out in January. Book 2 is drafted, and book 3 I'm drafting now, and then I'll edit those next month. Or I'll start editing, but they're supposed to come out in March and May, so I have time on those.
Okay.
But I want to at least know what's happening so that I can make sure that everything fits. And I think for me that's more important with a mystery because there's more moving pieces.
Right.
So
how many projects are you going to have coming out next year?
That's a good question. I think 6. Which sounds like a lot. That can't be right. But 2 of them are already written.
Sure.
And
wow,
one of them is like half drafted. So I've got a lot of stuff in progress. I tend to write fast. Editing takes me a lot longer.
Okay. And so you have 10 books out now, correct? Total.
I'm counting in my head. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And so you're going to add 6 more this next year. Wow, that's amazing.
It sounds so impressive when you say it. Can you say it like every day?
Sure. I will text you every day, and I will say, Laura, that is amazing.
Yeah. So
especially, because I think a lot of people have had trouble being creative, these last several months. With, lockdown and everything and all the crazy that's been going on, I think, your creative outlet. So I think some people kind of just focus that energy, or people like me who are not great at focusing had trouble. But it sounds like you're really able to focus, and that's amazing that you've been able to create these amazing stories in this period of time.
Well, maybe it helps that I'm channeling my energy toward killing people rather than trying to make them fall in love. I did shift genres completely.
That's a valid point. Yes, that would be good energy. Maybe I should write a mystery. Maybe I should channel my inner Agatha Christie and just go after it.
Mysteries are fun. I like them. I really like figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, mysteries.
Well, I know that I grew up watching the Agatha Christie movies, with Peter Ustinov and being Poirot, and then my mom read all of the books, and she read Nausea Marsh, and all of them. And but I remember reading them and then seeing them, or seeing the movies, and it was just my goal to be able to figure out who did it and how.
Yes.
But I could, and why. I could usually figure out maybe one, but I was never able to figure out all of it. It was, she wrote a good mystery.
She did. I read a lot of them when I was younger. Probably not all, because there are many, but I read a lot.
Yeah. And then, of course, one of the big mysteries about Agatha Christie's life is that she disappeared for a few weeks.
Really?
And nobody knew where she was. Yeah, it was a big deal. So apparently she left one night and went off to drive somewhere, and then they found her car. It was abandoned. Nobody knew where she was, and then she just showed up like 3 weeks later or something, and said she had no recollection of it. The rumor was that her husband was going to leave her, or there was some sort of domestic instability going on. And so I think she ended up divorcing him, and then she wrote a bunch more books and was completely happy with that. So there you are. But she never talked about it.
I had no idea. That's amazing.
Yeah, she never talked about it. Yeah. So nobody knows. So it would be cool if you did like a historical and ran a boarding house somewhere and this woman shows up, you know. We don't know who she is. She looks familiar.
That's funny because
I'm not sure who it is.
I do want to do a spin-off series about a witch who runs a bed and breakfast.
Oh, God, you have to write that. Where would you set it? Where do you think you'd set it?
I would put it in the same town, which Shady Grove is a town that I made up, but it's in upstate New York, and it's pretty similar to small towns near where I live. That's not a coincidence.
Okay.
Yeah, so she would either live in Shady Grove, which is so small I don't think they have a bed and breakfast, or Willow Falls, which is the town I set, like the adjacent town. She might be there then I could bring in a new whole cast of characters in the adjacent town. That is in very early planning stages, as you can tell.
Yes, we can brainstorm it right here on the show.
I think the hotel is
and why
I
not?
haven't decided yet.
Okay. Well, I know you will. You sound like you're good at brainstorming and getting things plotted, so that's very cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing what 2021. It is 21. Yeah, 2021. It's like, are we in November? Is it still 2020? Yeah, it is.
March, right?
Yeah.
Longest
so I
March
noticed.
ever.
I know. I noticed too on your bio that you are a Battlestar Galactica fan. Are you a sci-fi fan in general, or just Battlestar Galactica is kind of your thing?
So I like sci-fi movies and TV shows, and not so much the books. And I think that's because the books tend to get a little more into the science, and I like to keep my reading fluffy because I like young adult science fiction and fantasy, and that again tends to be a little fluffier, a little less dense. Not always, but so I think that's why. But yeah, so I love Star Wars. I love the Marvel movies, Star Trek, all that stuff, and Battlestar Galactica. I really think my roommate got me watching that at the time, and when she was first talking about it, we were like, "That sounds really dumb," but then. Isn't that always how it is? You're like, that is the weirdest show ever. And then you sit down and you start watching. You're like, wow, this is awesome.
I know.
So
yeah.
And it was just extremely well made, which I think helped a lot. And I mean, it's about the people, right? The relationships. Sure, they're in space and there are robots trying to kill them, but you know, they fall in love and they fly planes and I don't know, they do stuff. And it's all the interactions. I don't know. I like the characters.
Yeah. My husband was a big. We got together in 2000, and I remember one weekend he's like, "Hey, you know, come over and watch this." And we were. It was Stargate, and I was like, "What is this show?" And I loved it. I mean, I think it took a couple episodes, so I was like, okay. It did help. Like Christopher Judge had like these massive, like ripped arms, which you got to admit, the man's delicious. So, and then you had, of course, right, and you had the hot nerd, and so that was Michael Shakes, who played Daniel Jackson, and then you had, of course, Richard Dean Anderson, who was smarty pants. But then I really liked too was woman who played Sam Carter. She was Amanda Tapping, and so she's like this completely self-sufficient, strong, intelligent woman who can completely hold her own, and they all work in complement. So it was never this situation. They never wrote it like she was going to be the damsel in distress all the time. You know, she was incredibly, and all the women on the show were very self-sufficient and able to hold their own. And the guys respected them for it. So it was like this really nice situation. And then, of course, all this crazy stuff they do because they're going to other planets. So, but yeah, but the relationship, like you're talking about, the core of that is the relationships between the people. And that was always fun to see. Yeah. A lot of fun. I always love that, you know, the Teal'c, the Michael Judge, Christopher Judge, sorry, Mike Judge is the creator of Beavis and Butthead and The Office Space, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think
Christopher Judge.
on Target.
Yeah, totally different demographic there. But Chris Judge, when he would do his character, would always say "indeed," and so I always love using that meme all the time for my kids. I'm like, "Indeed," I'll send it to them.
My
yes,
husband
indeed.
does that. Indeed.
Indeed, that really low, lovely voice he has. Well, yeah, and you're right about the sci-fi because it can get a little, for me, and I know not everybody, but the technical. But it does, again, to go back to the relationship parts.
Right.
My husband had me read Door into Summer. He didn't have me read. He suggested. Have you read that, Door into Summer?
I don't think
book?
so.
It's good. It's got time travel in it. But there's a guy in it, and his name, I can't remember his name, but he has a cat named Pete, and the guy works from home, and so the cat goes to every single door when it's bad weather outside. And there's like 8 doors in this guy's house that lead out. And he complains at every door because it's not summer. He wants to go outside when it's summertime, so he just keeps going from door to door. So, yeah, if it's raining or snowing, yeah. So that's what we joke in our house. It's like, no, it's not the door to summer. And the dog's like, it's raining. It's not the door to summer. So, yeah, so we get to kind of pull the whole sci-fi thing into the house with everything else that we watch sci-fi. So I always love it when I get to talk to other people about the sci-fi part because it's just fun. So why not, right?
Absolutely.
So you have Ada Bell is going to be your pen name for your paranormal series that's coming out. The first book comes out when?
January 11th.
Okay.
17th.
Can you pre-order?
It's January. It is up for pre-order, yes. All 3 of them are.
Okay.
All the first 3.
Okay, perfect. So will they come out like January, March, and May?
Yep.
Okay.
With the novella in July.
Perfect. Got it all spaced out. You're going to have everybody all ready for the summer and all happy and their Kindles be and all fun. So you've got that going, and then you're working on some other stuff. What genre haven't you written in yet that you want to? You've talked about a more paranormal or some others, but what do you think you haven't even touched yet?
The one thing I've never touched, and I probably won't, is historical. Because I like it, but my process is very much vomit words onto the page, and historical I feel like it needs to be more researched and more planned out up front.
Yeah.
I suppose I could do the research and then vomit the words, but I'm not sure that all works with my process. I do leave, I'll do placeholders, but I feel like it would just turn into the old building was add words here, describe old thing.
Right.
Or I distracted and spent 3 hours researching the clothes and what is the right word for that thing, the cod piece. Cod piece, I don't know. And when did they wear it? And I think I'd get lost in the details. Yeah,
it's definitely a rabbit hole. It's hard to hyper focus, getting only what you need,
right?
Because it's so easy to get distracted. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then of course I've thought about that too, and then I'm like, God, am I going to get the timeline right? Now, is this going to be like if it was available in Philadelphia in 1837, was it actually available in South Carolina? And I don't know. I don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Can I just write it like if I were there? Just like make it that way? No, no, you can't. So yeah, historicals are definitely its own genre, and the people who write beautiful historicals, they are just so good at the research. I mean, it's amazing. It's so flawless in the story. And I never can remember what's the word that. You have something in a movie or whatever, but it wasn't invented yet. There's a word for that. Is it an anachronism?
I feel like that's not exactly right.
I thought as anachronism was the initials, like you have the ADA, the American Dietary Association, or CPR.
That's an anagram.
That's an anagram. Okay. Thank you. I will write this down.
Anachronism. That's it.
Anachronism, okay. Because I remember, was it years ago on Cheers, they were talking about, guys were sitting there at the bar talking about some Grecian movie they saw, and they were talking about all the anachronisms, like people wearing tennis shoes. And
That's what my historical romance would look like.
There are no tennis shoes in ancient Greece. Well, there is in my ancient Greece. Oh, wow.
I have so much respect for people who do historical well. I will never be one of them.
Yeah, no. I'm like, I think I'll just read them. Thanks. So cool. Well, I so appreciate you coming on today. I know you're crazy busy. I know you're about to make a big move. And you spent some time with us talking about your books. I'm so excited for you. Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you for rearranging everything to fit my very bizarre schedule. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And so if you're looking for some really fun books to read, Laura Heffernan has 10 books out. She's got a few different series. They're all fun, and you can find her on her website, Facebook, Twitter, BookBub, and Goodreads. All of them are in the links to the write-up of the show. Reach out, talk to Laura, and know that she's got a book on pre-order that's coming out in January as well, another one in March, another one in May, and then she's also got a book out now called Pole Dancer, and the link is in the write-up show, so go grab it. And it also has another book in the series called The Accidental Senator. So 2 books in that series, so you've got plenty to read and keep you busy for the next couple weeks. So this is Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio, and we will see you guys soon. Keep on reading, everybody.
This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.